And we're back with another episode of On the Record with Tiffany and Kevin. Only today is Tiffany and Reginald. And we just interviewed Mike Curtis, the CEO of eGenesis. And they just transplanted a pig kidney into a human being. Okay.
And he had to run, unfortunately.
Yes. He
had to run. Because he started smelling bacon, and he thought somebody was back there messing with his pigs.
You are a mess. Okay. Now I'm going to tell you my thoughts on this. We have a need for, I think it's about 140,000 kidneys in the United States, in the whole United States. We have 330 million Americans in the United States. You only need one kidney. You can share your spare. All we need is 120,000 people who are willing to give a kidney. So I think one of the really pertinent questions to ask is, why haven't we seen more people willing to just give a kidney? You know? Yes. You know what I mean? Because I think we're some of the most altruistic people on the planet here in the United States. And a lot of this, one of the reasons why we do what we're doing, Reg, is because we're trying to bring awareness to this. So many people don't know. You say this all the time at your shows when you when you start talking about your life and giving your testimonial on kidney disease. People are always like, "What? They didn't know that you had that problem, and then two, they didn't know that they could give a kidney." Yes.
Yeah, they didn't know, people that had the renal failure. They didn't know that somebody could donate a kidney without being a match for them. Also, they didn't know that. They thought they was waiting around on dialysis for somebody to die and be a match in order for them to get a kidney. No, if you have a friend, church member, whoever that's willing to donate, it's called exchange. Exchange program where they will get your kidney and give it to somebody else, and somebody else will get a kidney to the person that needs it in your family, and there you go. If you need it, as long as you have a donor, you don't have to have a perfect match donor. So, and that's what a lot of people didn't know that.
That's what.
Yeah, they don't know that. Every time I tell them, they're like, "What?"
Because that was the case. Yeah. Initially, that was the case initially, that you had to have a perfect match. But now, with living donors and with databases and the National Kidney Registry, you have so many options. So you don't have to have a perfect match right there. And it's just a game changer. But when I hear this, I hear innovation, options. Like, there should not. Now, one of the things he said, and I was sitting there thinking to myself, and I asked him, are you ready for the fight you're about to have with dialysis? And he was like, "Oh yeah, we're ready." I'm like, "No, you're not. You can't."
Yeah, I wish you could have got that. I wish you could have done a little bit more than that.
I know, man. This is $38 billion a year, billion with the B, billion. Yeah. And you think that they're going to be like, "Yeah, retool us all."
I know, right?
I'm like,
I wish you could have got it. Maybe we have it back and we could get into that a little bit more, just a little bit more depth.
Because all I was thinking was, you may be thinking in a very altruistic way, but 9 times out of 10, I can almost guarantee you most of these folks didn't expect you to get this far, brother. Because what he just described, they discovered the technology 12 years ago. They didn't start working on this until 7 years ago. So it took them 7 years to get from thinking that they could do this and genetically alter a pig. so that the kidney would be viable in a human being. They started that 7 years ago. I'd be willing to eat my arm if anybody believed that they would be in this spot 7 years from now.
Oh, no, I doubt that very seriously. But, they have attempted this before.
Yes.
So, yeah. And, like you say, the progression that where we are now, they probably didn't anticipate that,
Mm-hmm.
And the cool thing about it is you can't use ethics as an excuse because people eat pigs all the time. You know what I'm saying?
And what I found interesting about that is, okay, if we're classifying animals as animals, why is it ethically different to raise primates for organ usage, but it's not ethically it's considered an ethical dilemma to raise primates for organ usage, but it's not an ethical dilemma to raise pigs for organ usage. I guess because pigs have been food.
I believe because, people eat pigs anyway. And pigs are considered unclean animals in certain religions. And primates are more like us. So maybe, nobody eat primates. Nobody, they use primates as pets. You don't really use pigs as pets, so I think they looking at a pig in the way of, hey, we eat bacon anyway. So, we doing what we do to pigs, but, nobody eat.
Yeah.
Nobody eat cheetahs. Cheetahs Tarzan.
But I'm like interested in this idea of an ethical dilemma, and then the notion that pigs, that these same pigs that they're growing, and they're going to use both kidneys, so then the animal is no longer viable. It doesn't go into the food chain. It goes where they just simply, you grow the pig for this purpose, and then it's for that. I was sitting there thinking when he was talking, like, what are the people for PETA going to say, or PETA going to say? What are they going to say? How many different groups are you about to straight up smoke from?
When I asked that question, I was kind of skirmish. I was like, oh, wow, I probably put it in a position, when I say so.
Hey, that's what advocacy is, Reginald Ballard.
Yeah. I was like, hey, do they take that pig to Whole Foods because of the
what's up? Yeah, they have to catch a little bit.
Well, if it's genetically modified food, I guess. We eat that every day anyway. So you could do the same thing with the pig, unless it's something that's that they give them, with the edits that they do, the chemicals and stuff they put into them. Maybe it's not, viable for us to eat. And that's another thing. It was interesting when he said about the 59 edits that take care of all of the viruses. But so I was thinking to myself, I was like, well, seemed like you wouldn't have to take the anti-suppressant drugs in order, to wean off the diseases and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But he said they're not to that level yet, but they working to that level. But that's what their
goal is. So So wait, Reginald. Now we just heard what their goal is: to eliminate dialysis.
Mm-hmm.
And he just said immunosuppressants. You know how many?
Oh yeah.
I'm like, so you're trying to take on dialysis and big pharma, and you think you good?
Yeah, I know.
Well, you about to experience what it's like to be black.
Yeah, buddy, because they coming at you.
Are gonna catch.
They coming at you. As soon as you get to a point, they coming at you.
they are
gonna
coming.
Because all that money, all the big time cats over there, man, chilling in the Bahamas and all that, they gonna be like, hold up.
Mm-hmm.
They messing with the church's money.
Like, really? I was sitting there thinking, no, anytime you're dealing with them, I don't know if I would be on stations and talking about, well, I would be, but most people,
yeah.
but most people would not.
Right.
He may be. I think he's very optimistic.
Yeah.
But
I wish you could have got delved into that a little bit more, though.
Yeah, we need to bring him back because I'm real interested to see, like, okay, so if you're prepping for this, like, how you prepping? Because they're gonna that's two major industries.
Yeah, the drugs and dialysis.
And there's a lot of products within those two industries. You've got a lot of diagnostics, a lot of immunosuppressants, new therapies that they have going in the immunosuppressants, and I have yet to run across any group in any of them in those two groups who want to lose money on what they've put in, into bringing their therapeutic from concept to benchmark, or continuing to recoup whatever they spent on their therapeutic. I'm all for us coming up with ideas and ways to make things better for patients. I personally think that the best thing we can do for every single patient is what we have been advocating for from the beginning and will continue to advocate for, and that is early detection of chronic and rare kidney diseases, early reporting, and we know that we have evidence-based data that says early detection and early reporting and disease management, lifestyle changes, coupled with therapeutics like ACEs, ARBs, SGLT2Is, and others, you can eliminate 80% of end-stage renal disease.
Yeah.
So we know that a big part of the answer is early detection and health management. Most people would rather maintain their healthy kidney and a healthy kidney function than lose it and have to get it a transplant of any kind. Go on to dialysis. So there's a lot of ways we can do things that are preventative before we get to end-stage renal disease. And we'll continue to advocate for that. I just thought it was quite interesting that the end of the disease trajectory is still what dollars are being put into, something as innovative as a pig transplant into a human is definitely it's innovative. It's great, but let's think about how many dollars went into creating that.
Yeah.
How many dollars went into
I imagine a whole lot. A lot. And right now, trying to get the state of Texas, Congress to invest dollars in preventative care, in the early detection of kidney disease has been challenging. Very challenging to get dollars invested into. Well, it's challenging to get dollars invested into anything that has to do with healthcare, which is always amazing to me. If somebody decides they want to strike out and start a war with somebody else, we will put dollars into that. We can stand with them, blah, blah, blah. A humanitarian crisis within our borders, on our borders, whatever's going on, when people within the United States
are being affected by it, like healthcare. We have a million questions as to why or not, how we're going to pay for it.
Well, to me, I think we should do. How when we like men, when we are 18 years old, we have to go and register for the armed services.
Mm-hmm.
I believe if a person have a history in their family of heart disease, diabetes, kidneys, I think at 18, they should go and get screened for that particular disease that your family tree has.
Yes.
So early if they go and get screened, and they can tell you, okay, this is the progression of your body, with it's going. Right now I can see that you have a situation that we can head off right now if you do this or if you do that. I think that would eliminate a whole lot of kidney disease problems, diabetes, cancer, heart disease, all that. If 18, if you had that in just like we got to go, men have to go and get, if you don't register at 18 for the armed service, they going to come for you eventually. You know what I mean?
Well, see, I'm with you on that. And I think we should take it a step further because with babies, you could do genetic testing.
Yeah.
With a baby, and then have that at age 18. You're looking for those lifestyle tests as well. Like, hey, what's going on here? You do another round of tests at that point, because the sooner you know about something, the more you can do to manage it, and especially when it comes down to genetic alleles that connect to kidney diseases. I think there are over 140 of them. We, Reginald Ballard, are, and you will be in the lead on this, the face of this, we have sponsored testing, meaning it's paid for, in the hypertensive population, and it is for genetic testing, and we're bringing it to HBCUs, to anybody that is historically in that hypertensive population. And the reason for that is because the reason that we're specifically targeting HBCUs is because of their age. True early detection is exactly that, finding it out before the person is symptomatic or before it's beginning to take a toll on their body. And then making the changes that are necessary for one to manage that. It's that's exactly what, and the reason why we're doing that is to model. This is where you want to catch these things. You don't want to wait until a person is 53, like me. I think, how old was I when I found out that when I took the test? I want to say I was like 49, 48.
Oh, really?
When I took the Renasite test for the first time, I was like 49. It took a little while. I was waiting. I didn't know we didn't know for sure that it was genetic with us. I thought that it was. And I was looking for if they had a test, what was it? What was it like? And if, knowing about it at age 22 or 18, before you have kids, before you get married, you would want to know that. You want to know that because, like in my case, I have two mutated genes. So my mother gave me one, my father gave me one. Well, when you're getting married, you might want to know that you have two mutated genes, because if your husband does have the mutated genes, then that's going to increase your kid's chances exponentially of having APOL1 mediated kidney disease wake up in them. But so you would want to know that. And at the same time, you'd want to know, okay, well, maybe he doesn't have APOL1, but he has another genetic kidney disease, or he doesn't have any of this and we're good. But you want to know.
Didn't they used to do that before you got married? Used to give you a blood test for sickle cell. You used to have to get a blood test before you get married. I don't think they do that anymore. They don't require that anymore, huh?
I don't think so.
Back in the day, you used to have to take blood tests before you get married to see if, you guys had the sickle cell gene and, yeah.
I think about stuff like that because I feel like we are way too compartmentalized when it comes down to healthcare. Your body is an ecosystem. So why do we act like, okay, we're going to talk about kidneys and we're going to have this group over here and they only do kidneys. And we're going to talk about high blood pressure. We're going to have this group over here and they only do that. We're going to talk about the heart disease and we have this group over here and they only do that. And everybody stay to yourself.
Yeah.
Study your own one little thing when in reality, all of this stuff works together. So
yes,
we should all be working together in order to, and we've been highly successful with coalitions and with working with other people. But I can tell you that it is always an interesting road to hoe because people talk good. They talk a good game. Everybody has their PR people. They all have, whatever side of industry that is funding them or that they've worked for. Because in most of these diseases, people have either, been a dialysis nurse for 20 or 30 years or worked for a diagnostics company for 20 or 30 years or 10 years. Worked for a dialysis practice or worked for a hospital in their nephrology department. And that stuff, that's all fine, but you're still a part of industry. And as long as you're a part of industry, there's an indoctrination. People have just accepted normalized views of the constituents. Of the people that are patients and dealing with those various chronic illnesses. In our case, specifically kidney disease. I mean, when people are indoctrinated into industry, then when voices like ours come showing up on the scene talking about patients, industry rises up to beat you down because they're like, well, who are you to be talking about patients care about themselves? That we decided X. And that's black people don't have kidneys because they don't give kidneys. That's why. And that's what we're putting out here in these streets,
Yeah.
And so when you
I guarantee you, I guarantee you, when innovation as of what my man eGenesis is talking about come about, it's just like Dr. Sebi, how he said he, cured a lot of disease and illnesses with the proper nutrition, proper diet, raw foods and stuff like that. Next thing you know, he's dead. You know what I mean? So people like coming to these like you say, man, it's gonna be a serious challenge to get around these dialysis centers and these pharmaceutical companies with all this.
A lot of people that because the statement, we want to make sure nobody goes on dialysis anymore and dialysis doesn't exist. I'm like, okay, remember you heard it here first. That's a whole industry that you're taking on, and be ready for the fight you're about to have.
Yeah, you're gonna always have to be looking over his shoulders. I guarantee you that.
Stick off the gloves on them and on Big Pharma. So, Mike's more gangster than we thought.
Yeah, because the two dudes that came up with water powered vehicles, they no longer exist. Those guys.
Hey, I didn't put that out there. That's
I'm just saying that happened.
Emails don't
it happened.
Me.
So it's like, when you come up with it, it's like, I don't know. It's happy to keep people on medication. It's happy to, you're happy to keep people, sitting in their chair for 4 hours, 3 times a week. It's very, very, very profitable. And,
because you know what? We have just suggested 2 different ways.
Yes.
Simply the city of San Antonio. We have 1.8 million people in the city of San Antonio. The city of San Antonio has enough people with healthy kidneys. Let's just go out on a limb and say the city of San Antonio, the city of Houston. They have enough people with healthy kidneys in those 2 cities to be able to solve the nation's kidney problem.
Yes.
They have enough people with healthy kidneys. And you're talking about 140,000 people. 140,000 people out of in the city of San Antonio, 1.8 million. I don't know what Houston is. It's bigger than San Antonio. So at least 4 or 5 million people, and you need 140,000 kidneys. I mean, it's not, but historically the problem has been that people didn't know about it. So again, we're gonna keep promoting and showing you what your options are, but knowledge to action, people. Knowledge to action. Mm-hmm. We're telling you what your options are so you can take action to take your health back, because there are a lot of fiduciary interests, people who are making money, who have their own narrative that they're putting out there. But every time you listen to On the Record with Tiffany and Kevin, every time you see our amazing spokesperson, Mr. Reginald Ballard, you are going to hear the straight skinny from people who are patient advocates. We ain't bought and paid for by nobody. We have not worked in industry. We are here to save you because so many of our family members weren't saved. And you've been listening to On the Record with Tiffany and Kevin. And we will be back bringing you the real deal next week.